with full coverage of the Auburn Tigers,
Touchdown, Auburn!
the Alabama Crimson Tide,
Off to the inside, intercepted Alabama. Touchdown!
and everything college and high school sports. Now, let's join Andy, Brett, Randy, and Luke for this edition of Sports Blitz Live.
Hello, everybody, and welcome into the Saturday Sports Countdown presented by JR's Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air. Brett Pritchard and Scott Hardy here with you, getting your Saturday morning kicked off, and we're glad that you joined us here on the program. A lot to talk about. Another week done for high school football, Scott, and we'll talk about the scores around the state. Some big games last night. Region matchups are starting to take up. Or take shape. The region layout, I guess, not region matchups, but region layout. Who looks like they're going to make the playoff, and what games are going to determine where everybody kind of sits in that first four seeds. We'll go through the regions. A lot to discuss on the college football side. If you fell asleep last night, you probably missed one of the better football games of the whole year. And everybody's like, what are you talking about? I mean, on Friday night, Colorado and Stanford, and it didn't look like much out of the gate. It looked like Colorado was going to blow them out like a lot of people expected. This was a Stanford team that was a one-win team. Man, double overtime thriller.
Well,
should we spoil it for everybody, or we make them look it up on their app?
I mean, they're probably just now waking up. They're going to be surprised like I was about 1:30, 1:45 this morning. I rolled over and just checking to see how the game ended up, and up 29-0 at the half, and then didn't really go that way as it ended.
29-0 at the half, and you end up losing. Welcome to reality.
Yeah.
Right? Dion?
Gosh, well, they saw it, and I hate it for him because, I didn't see any of the post-game commentary, so he maybe owned it, and I don't know what he said.
I haven't
I'm sure
seen
he
any
did.
of the post-game either.
But they showed a split picture of halftime and then after the game, and one smiling, one didn't, and it's tough for him, and so people are looking when you do the things he's done. People are looking for opportunities to take jabs at you, so it is what it is.
That.
Yeah,
I mean, he understands that. And I think his message is probably going to be, we were right where we wanted to be, and
that would have made them 5-2.
Yeah.
So I mean so that really, they're still ahead of schedule, but that's a tough one.
To get Travis Hunter back last night, and it looked like they were going to blow a team out like Stanford, and I mean, it just didn't work out. I mean, but again, reality with a roster and players that just quite aren't up to snuff yet. I mean, let's just be honest. We're going through it at Auburn right now, and it's just one of those deals. But a crazy game on a Friday night. Most people are at high school. Most people are coming in from a high school football game, and they turn on their TV, and they see this Colorado game, and then you woke up, if you fell asleep, and saw that it went to double overtime, and they lose to a 1-4 Stanford team. I talked about that before the game even came on. We were with some people last night. I said, well, that one won't be any good because, I said Stanford's program is just really taking a step back. But nevertheless, they got the win. We'll talk more about that in the second hour with college. High school football, Scott, we'll start here locally like we do. And our Benjamin Russell Wildcats started on Thursday night, or played on Thursday night. It was the statewide game of the week against Pelham, and a team that we've struggled with the last few years. And when I mean struggle, not struggle like they came in and owned the game. We had leads, or we were right there, and it was always close. And they always seemed to make a little bit, one more play than we did. I actually went back to the 2021 game, and I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, they were up 20-0. It was 20-14 in the third quarter, and we had the ball 4 times to try to win the game. Driving down, had it as far as the 20 4 times and had big plays, and we'd get down there and have a penalty, or we'd take a sack, or there would be some negative play that would knock us out of field goal range or even scoring position. And Pelham did that the entire second half and won the game. But you fast forward to last night, or to Thursday night rather, and the Wildcats jumped up. They never looked back. It got interested in the third quarter. You got to give Pelham credit. We knew that they would have a little bit of a run in them. They don't go away. They're a gritty team. Their quarterback really kept them in the ball game by extending plays. But Malcolm Simmons had another phenomenal night on the field. So did Gabe Benton. So did good to see Chris Foster back. Right. I can just go down the list. Jai Hicks had a great night at linebacker. I can list off several. Caden Hyde had an interception. Just starting to play better overall as a team, and that's what you want to do. Coach Grider and I talked about it in the locker room before the game. He said, "Look, you want to be." He said he felt like we peaked too early last year. Baby peaked at the Helena game, and even though we still scored a lot of points, and we've been scoring a lot of points lately, I still think we have a lot left in the tank. I still don't think we've played that perfect game, and as Coach Grider says, maybe we'll play that perfect game in week 15. That's when you want to play your best game. But again, you do want to be hitting your crescendo going into the playoffs. You want to be playing your best football, and really the playoffs start now. They started Thursday with Pelham, but they really start now with Briarwood and Helena. You're still in position to win the region, and you got to look at these games as playoff games, because you're going to be determining your seed. You're going to be determining if you're going to be able to host a playoff game. I looked at Briarwood, and Briarwood's much improved this year, but they don't score a lot of points. Going into last night, they'd only scored 107 points all year. So they struggle a little bit on offense, but their defense is pretty good. We'll have to go on the road. We'll have Helena here, and then we'll close out the season with Valley. But, after a couple disappointments with Clay Central and Homewood, where we just did not play anywhere close to our best game, we seem to be hitting our stride now.
Absolutely, and I think that's a testament to two things. One, the coaching staff that we have and continually looking at ways to improve and putting our players in positions to be successful, and then the leadership that we've seen from some of our seniors and understanding that they were on the verge of possibly not reaching, or I think they understood what they had in this team and not wanting to not take advantage of these opportunities. When you're a community like ours, you don't really get these type of athletes on a consistent basis, and so to have this type of team.
Not this many at a time.
Not at a time, yeah.
Right.
And I think that they understood what's at stake, and it's just – I don't know. I want to talk about the defense for a moment. And
that's where I was going next.
We talked about it going into the season. It was going to be a learning curve for some of the guys, a lot of young guys, 2 or 3 freshmen playing, 8 players off the defense last year.
Eight new guys
weren't there. So you look at it, and so it took a little bit, but they are playing lights out. And Pelham was, schematically, they ran some different option style plays and some things that maybe could get some teams out of position, but they played really well. Some of our guys that are freshmen are starting to play like they're juniors, at this stage of the season, people are starting to play up to their level. But defensively, I think, and you and I talked about this after the game, if we're able to continue to play like this with the way the offense seems to be clicking now, this is the Benjamin Russell team that we were expecting coming into the season.
Well, lines of scrimmage are the key, obviously, at any level. And the last few games we've owned the line of scrimmage. And if you go back to the Clay Central game, they kind of took it to us in the first half, but we made some adjustments in the second half and really kind of flipped the script. And we started winning the line of scrimmage and held. I don't think Clay Central had a first down in the third quarter, and it gave ourselves a chance to get back in the game. Actually had a chance to get back and tie it or take the lead, and turnovers bit us. I think we had 2 turnovers in the third quarter. It was kind of a momentum flop back and forth, but you learn from that kind of stuff. Again, you don't want to lose a game, but I think you take lessons out of things like that, and you go, hey, look, don't dig yourself a hole. We did it again against Homewood, and again fought back, and we're trying to make a surge, but in high school football or any level. Unless you're Stanford, I guess. If you get in too big of a hole, it makes it really tough because it really kind of scraps your game plan, and you go you have to do some things a little bit different to try to come back in the game. But, when you got a senior quarterback, you got a running back like TJ, you got wide receivers that are a threat. And then when you start moving people around up front, on the offensive line like we've done, it's a good recipe. And then on defense, like you said, Scott, I think we've exceeded expectations going into the season, having to replace 8 guys. But the defense around here should be good for a while. When you got 2 freshmen on the defensive line, you got some sophomores smattered through, with Marbury and some of these other guys that are playing defense, along with some of the seniors that are out there. This defense is getting better. That's what you want. You want this defense playing at the highest level going into the playoffs. But again, it's going to be fun in position. Sitting there at 5-2, Helena is the only undefeated team in the region. But hopefully, when we get here in a couple of weeks, don't want to look past Briarwood, obviously, because they're a really good football team, and we know the history of that program. And it'll be tough to go up there and win. But if you can go take care of business, that Helena game should be for everything. I know Homewood will have something to say about it because they beat us head-to-head, but, they've still got to navigate the rest of the region schedule as well. And, if we beat Helena, it'll get into all that tiebreaker stuff, and we'll just have to let it play out. That's all you can do at this point.
Yeah, this is what you want, is the opportunity to control your destiny, and the Wildcats had that opportunity. And, that was a big win. Pelham's kind of been a nemesis of ours, both in football and basketball, where, looking at it, you would think that probably we are the better team, but they found ways to stick it to us. But big win for
Glad to
the
get
Wildcats.
over that.
Yeah, big win.
Some comments come in. Jerome said, have you seen that there was a score 94-7 last night?
Yeah.
Coosa Christian. We'll talk some about that. And I was told earlier in the week to watch that game. I was told, they said, just hold on. There might be the century mark put up somewhere, and it was close. I don't know how the game played out at the end. I don't know if Coosa had a chance to put 100 on the board, but they were close. We'll talk about that game. Kyle said, when you have Malcolm Simmons, let's just call it what it is, you have a chance. But there's no doubt. I mean, again, he's a top playmaker for a reason, and I put him up there in the category with KJ Lacey and Ryan Williams and Jalen Mbakwe, and that's. I mean, Jalen Mbakwe and Malcolm played on several 7-on-7 teams, like all-star deals and camps together. I've seen that, and I know all these guys talk, all the top-rated recruits talk, but he's right there. I mean,
I didn't see anything like
that. He's game-changing. I mean, look, Scott, you and I and Randy saw this when he was a freshman. When he ran a couple of punts back that year and made some catches, and we knew – what we saw as a freshman was going to translate into something special by the time he was a senior, and it has. I mean, he's a phenomenal player, and it's almost a 3 touchdown per night game. That's the difference there. He's the difference, and I rip him all the time. I said, we appreciate you stepping out for a year, and with Braden's senior year, because I mean, if you put him on their team, they went 3-7. They're probably 7-3. I mean, that's how much of an
point differential.
That's how much of an impact he has on a game.
Yeah.
And I know everybody's like, well, it's not just one guy. Well, it is a lot of times. This year, he's made plays where he's just taking the football and said, look, I'm just going to navigate the whole field. Nobody's going to touch me. And he did it again Thursday night. But when you have special players like that, I talked to Drew Gilmer, a good friend of mine at Clay Chalkville, the head coach. With Jalen Mbakwe, he's put him at quarterback this year because he wants Jalen to touch the football as much as he can. And he beat Thompson. I'm not saying he beat him single-handedly because you got a block and the defense had to play good, but Jalen Mbakwe scored 5 touchdowns against Thompson. Yeah. So special guys like that, are just on another level. And, boy, you're glad they're on your team. You look over and you go, man, I'm glad 0 or I'm glad 9 is on my team, when you're coming out of the locker room, and that's just kind of player he is. And, it's fun to watch. I think you and I will enjoy watching him at the next level, too. But, another thing is I hope he's got 8 more games left here at Benjamin Russell.
Absolutely.
That would mean we would make it all the way to the state championship game. But we're going to get around the state of Alabama here. We're going to take a break. Lots of crazy games, some scores that are eye-opening. One that we just mentioned that approached the century mark last night. So we'll talk about that when we come back. Just getting started here on the Saturday Sports Countdown.
Sportz Auto Sales, Highway 280 in Kellyton, Alabama, is home-owned and home-operated. If you're looking for tires, they have it. If you're looking for a vehicle, they have them. Great selection. Always out looking for more just for you, the customer. And if you're looking for service, whether you buy the vehicle from them or whether you buy the vehicle somewhere else, they do service work and got a great crew there. Keep us in mind. Don't you go by Sportz Auto Sales on Highway 280 in Kellyton today.
What's the verdict?
Can't fix your heat pump. Need a new one.
Uh-oh. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking Daikin.
Call on Kevin Kill in Sunshine Heating and Air at 256-825-4849, Central Alabama's premier Daikin dealer.
So what's he thinking?
Oh, he's thinking Daikin.
Daikin, one of the top selling in the world.
Now I'm thinking Daikin.
Daikin. Comfort for life.
Russell Do-It Center and building supply stores have the tools and materials to get the job done right, whether you're a professional contractor or just a weekend do-it-yourselfer. With everyday customer conveniences like a drive-through lumberyard, price match promise, and our Best Rewards program, each of our 9 locations offer top brands and building materials like lumber, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. Visit today and see what Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply can help you build tomorrow.
Farmers and Merchants Bank of Dadeville is building a foundation of strength and trust in the entire Lake Martin community. With our modern branch in Dadeville and caring, attentive staff, we've established Farmers and Merchants Bank as a reliable friend to your banking needs. Whether it's just a savings or checking account or any commercial, auto, or real estate loan, Farmers has local decision-making to build a relationship with you and your needs. Farmers and Merchants Community Bank. Strength, service, community.
The coast is here. Wharf Casual Seafood is serving up all your favorites: shrimp and grits, po' boys, tacos, seafood platters, and so much more. Don't miss out on our famous loaded fried green tomatoes. Wharf Casual Seafood is located on Highway 280 next to Regions Bank.
Hello, I'm Karen Chanel, your State Farm agent in Alexander City, Alabama, and the greater Lake Martin area. I want to talk to you a little bit today about your discounts. How many of you are entitled to discounts that you may or may not be receiving? One of the easiest discounts on your homeowner's insurance is that of having a fire extinguisher. Coupled with a deadbolt lock and a smoke alarm, that gives you an automatic discount on your homeowner's policy.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area a team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice. Bice Motors.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Saturday Sports Countdown presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air. Can't thank them enough for their longtime partnership here on the program. And, they're just staples of the Saturday Sports Countdown. JR's here in a couple of weeks. We'll have their 25th anniversary, and in Sunshine Heating and Air, located in Dadeville, Alabama, one of the top-notch businesses that we've ever dealt with. And Kevin Kill and his group down there. If you need heating and air work and you need a new unit, they're the people to call on. Let's talk about games from around the state. We'll start in 7A and we'll run down some of these scores. If you look at it from a standpoint of some of these teams, I'll tell you one you need to watch is Mary Montgomery. They beat Baker last night 35-14.
Wow.
This is a good football team. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know a lot about them. To my knowledge, they've never really been very good, but they just continue to pile up wins against really good programs week in and week out. So they're going to have something to say about that region, I would think they probably win that region. Coming out, there's only 4 regions in 7A, so they're gonna have something to say about it. I know everybody's trying to look forward to ahead and kind of place Phoenix City in the championship game. That could be a really good football game.
Yeah, I mean,
in the playoffs,
Baker's no pushover, and
Baker's loaded.
Yeah, I mean, so that's a big win for them.
Baker's kind of been doing that to everybody, and then you turn around and look. And then they get beat 35-14 by Mary Montgomery's got a lot of athletes, obviously, and they are playing good football. Thompson over Oak Mountain 68-7. This is Oak Mountain gets drummed like this every single week. This was a team that used to be really competitive. And you never look down, and Oak Mountain would always be that scrappy team that either pulled out a close win or – if you beat them, you had to bring your A game. And Thompson, I think Vestavia last week kind of ran roughshod over them, or the week before. I don't know, man. The discrepancy of scores there for Oak Mountain's kind of eye-opening.
Yeah.
Spain Park over Chelsea, 38-21. Prattville shuts out Jag 27-0. Hoover with a big win over Tuscaloosa County that they needed.
Starting to get high a little bit.
37-10. Tuscaloosa County, pretty good football team this year. And go on the road and beat them by 27 is big. Here's a big score. I don't think anybody expected this. Hewitt-Trussville 55, Vestavia 27. Vestavia was that team that everybody kind of felt like might be on the cusp of getting over the hump. Thompson, beat them earlier, but they kind of mopped up the field with Hoover, and they've had some big wins. Yeah. And everybody knows Hewitt-Trussville's a solid program too. I mean, they're well coached, and as far as D1 talent, they put out as much as any of those teams up there in that region. Hewitt-Trussville has 55-27. This could be a year where maybe Hewitt-Trussville gets their feet under them going into playoffs and can finally get that win if they're playing the best football.
Yeah, I mean, and as you said, in that first thing we were talking, this is the time of the year where you want to be playing your best, and if they have this type of momentum going in, I think that region is still up for grabs.
Dothan over Enterprise 21-14. That is a gruesome region. Phoenix City, Auburn, Dothan, Enterprise. Usually Prattville would be right there at the top. They're struggling a little bit, but I mean, Opelika's in that region. They've got a great football team, but they've been on the losing side of a couple of close games. Auburn, they had Auburn dead to rights. They lose at the end. They played with Phoenix City right to the end, but it looks like right now, Dothan, Enterprise, Phoenix City, and Auburn are the 4 teams going to make it out of that region. And that was a big game because that probably determined who's third and
the
who's
seeding.
fourth.
Yeah, I mean, and Dothan really, we talked about it when those schools combined. It felt like they could be a team that made some noise. But regardless, I mean, that is just tough week in and week out. All of those teams are pretty evenly matched. Phoenix City kind of being the cream of the crop. Auburn maybe 1B there, but. Should be interesting to see how that plays out come playoff time.
We'll slide down to 6A. Benjamin Russell on Thursday night over Pelham, 41-14. A pretty dominant win there. They'll take on Briarwood next Friday. Briarwood knocked off Calera 38-0. Calera's going to probably finish up the region schedule with no wins, and they've kind of had a precipitous drop. I think they went through some stuff right before the season started. They had a coach leave right at the beginning, and they had to kind of scramble. But Briarwood playing a little better. I think that's maybe the most points they put up all year in a game. But that'll be a huge matchup next week. That'll be a battle to see who's going to stay there at the top of this region. So looking forward to that game. Here's one: Carver-Montgomery, 38-7 over Wetumpka. And Carver's improving. Carver's got a good program. We know that. And their scores are starting to get a little lopsided. So that's a pretty good Wetumpka team.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a great Wetumpka team, but it's a pretty good Wetumpka team. But Carver, you beat Wetumpka 38-7.
Are they still in the fight maybe for a third seed? Probably
so.
Wetumpka.
Yeah, they're still in it. I think they're there. Clay Chaltville 72-0 over Huffman.
Good gosh.
I don't know that Huffman's even scored much this year.
They didn't score yesterday.
No, they didn't. They didn't. I don't know that they came close. A close game with Center Point and Pinson Valley, 32-19. Center Point wins that game. Center Point's a good football program too. Gardendale 61, Minor 49. That was, again, that looked like an Arena League game there. Gardendale, we saw them in the spring. We know they got a great offensive line. They kind of took some lumps early in the season. Looked like they might be hitting their stride. Hillcrest Tuscaloosa is going to have something to say about it in the north. They won over Bessemer City 28-0. It's a good football team.
They are.
I didn't go back to look at the rankings. I think they're, third or fourth in the state. Just a good, solid football team. Homewood knocked off Chilton County 34-13. Great game in the Birmingham area. Hueytown by 5 over McAdory 20-15. Looking down the line, Muscle Shoals is another one of those teams that's dominant in the north. They knocked off Decatur 56-3. Pike Road all over Russell County 63-27. Spanish Fort over McGill-Tulane 41-19.
Wow.
Theodore shuts out Blunt 35-0. So there's a roundup of some of the 6A scores. We'll take a break. We'll continue to run down these scores, talk about some of these games, some crazy scores out there. Some teams really starting to separate themselves in their classification. We'll talk about that when we come back. Stay tuned. More of the Saturday Sports Countdown right after this.
Sign Source is your local vendor for commercial and residential sign manufacturing and installation. We offer all kinds of lighted and non-lighted signage, from retail signs, LED message centers, event banners, vehicle wraps, the whole spectrum. We also offer service and repair on existing signs, as well as retrofitting to LED or installation of outsourced signage. We have the knowledge necessary to fulfill all of your signage needs in the short or long term. Visit signsourcenow.com to get started.
Satterfield Outdoor Living is Lake Martin's trusted friend for your outdoor land and leisure needs. We're the region's authorized Skag mower dealer for residential and commercial lawns and offer all the small engine accessories you need with top lines of Steel, Echo, Shindaiwa, Husqvarna, and Metabo products that can tame any landscape. Satterfield is also your grill headquarters with Big Green Egg Grill, and our pros service everything in-house and back up all sales. Get the Satterfield Outdoor difference on Highway 280 right across from Tallapoosa Ford.
You want the best opportunity to be successful in life. You deserve that opportunity. Well, you just happens to be in our motto. Central to you, central to your success. Your future is right now. Don't wait. Make your dreams a reality by enrolling at Central Alabama Community College. Register today at cacc.edu.
Alex City Internal Medicine and Nephrology and Weight Loss Center provides optimum care for the whole person. Dr. Dimo Popov specializes in the prevention and diagnosis of high blood pressure, kidney disease, diabetes, and acute and chronic conditions. Our weight loss clinic offers lipo shots and a guide to healthy weight loss. Alex City Internal Medicine and Nephrology and Weight Loss Center, where lifestyle changes are made.
Hillaby Towers is an affordable senior citizens community located in Alexander City on Highway 22 East. Spacious one-bedrooms are available now. Great location, peaceful setting, comfortable living where pets are allowed and utilities are included. Call today to find out more information on Alexander City's best-kept secret, 256-329-0552. That's Hillaby Towers in Alexander City.
Get a ghoulishly good deal all month long at Opelika Ford. Take advantage of spectacular discounts on their entire inventory of brand new Fords. Plus, rates as low as 1.9% APR for 60 months. Shop OpelikaFordChrysler.com. Get a ghoulishly good deal all month long at Opelika Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep Ram. Get their biggest discounts of the year on new Rams, plus 2.9% APR financing for 72 months. Don't miss Ram Power Days at Opelika Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep Ram.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Saturday Sports Countdown. Reminder that you can call us if you'd like, 256-234-6221 to be part of the program. You can comment away. Several of you have already sent some comments through this morning on Facebook. You can find us there at Sports Blitz Live. Sports with a Z. Let's talk some 5A football. UMS Wright got knocked off by BC Rain 31-21, so a little bit of a struggle this year for UMS Wright, looking down and seeing a little bit more L's for the Bulldogs than you're used to. Central Clay not finding many L's. They haven't found an L this year. They defeated Sylacauga 48-0, and Scott, they went to 8-minute quarters in the second half running clock. That's 16 minutes. The game was over before 9 o'clock.
And for those who know anything about high school football, that's an anomaly. That does not happen. But that's back-to-back weeks. I think they put up 47 last week, 47-0 against Valley, 48-0 last night against Sylacauga. This team is really, really good. And I mean, there's some teams obviously in 5A that
had a close game since
are competitive, but
week 2.
You know, Ramsey and those, but Clay Central's playing some dang good football right now.
Yeah, I think it was a one-score game in the third quarter.
Yeah, that's it.
Benjamin Russell, and that's the closest anybody's been to them. Charles Henderson knocked off Eufaula 51-31. Demopolis over Jemison 48-14. Gulf Shores is a team. I think they're the number 1 ranked team in 5A right now. They win over Alberta 55-7. They've got a good football team. That was a matchup last year with Central Clay in the second round, I believe. Gulf Shores had to make the trek up here and ended up winning that game. A turnover right there before half really hurt Central Clay. I know they'd love to have another shot at that. Again, going down the line, Moody, really good football team, knocked off St. Clair County 60-0. Pleasant Grove over Fairfield 48-13. Ramsey knocks off John Carroll 28-0. It's either Ramsey's number 1 or Gulf Shores number 1. Clay Central's 3, and those 3 teams they're by far the best teams. Pleasant Grove, I think I just named off Pleasant Grove over Fairfield 48-13. Valley over Tallahassee 48-14, and again, never thought I'd say this, but the Sylacauga-Tallahassee game will be to see who doesn't go winless in the region, and that's so out of kilter for those 2 programs. But right now they're struggling trying to figure out who they are. Viger blanks LaFleur 31-0. Here's an interesting little bit of thing developing there in that region. Viger had to forfeit a game. I think maybe 1 or 2. They're really good. It's going to push them down to the 4th seed.
Oh, and
that could be Clay Central's first opponent in round 1.
Oof.
That's not a normal 4 seed. Not saying that Central Clay is not going to still be favored and still shouldn't win the game, but when you win the region, you know in the first round you expect maybe a little bit. You earned that, but because of the forfeit and the way things kind of line up, when you bump a team that probably was looking at finishing 1st or 2nd in the region all the way down to 4th,
that is
and then they have to get on the road. And the Vikers had to come to Central Clay before, and Central Clay's on them, I think, as far as, I don't know, the last time. I know they beat them up here a few years ago. I know Central Clay beat them in the state championship game. So it's not an opponent they're unfamiliar with. But my point is, that would not be normally who they would get in the first round for winning the region.
Agreed, and that's a tough spot there. But as you said, familiar opponent, team that they've been familiar with, so shouldn't be the worst thing. But that is tough to get that after winning the region.
Yeah, let's slide down to 4A Andalusia over Slocum, 42-6. A good football team, man, in Andalusia. Had some really good running back down there. Is committed to Auburn. I can't remember his stats last night. He had an amazing first half. I'm not sure he played much in the second half there. Bibb County over Montevallo 34-0. Cherokee County shuts out Fultondale 35-0. Deschler over Central Florence 57-47. Did you see, I know that we're down in 4A, did you see what Fluff Bothwell did for Aniana last week
with
his stats?
Yeah, what did he have? 5? It was.
Well, he scored like 4 touchdowns running, and maybe threw for another one.
Yeah.
And maybe caught a pass for one. And then on defense had 17 tackles and 2 sacks.
What are you doing out there? Like, I mean, every play, you're involved in every play.
Every single play.
Every play. Yeah,
I don't know that I've ever seen a stat line like he.
I mean, the defensive stat line alone is impressive.
17 tackles.
Yeah.
But he's over there rushing for 300 yards, scoring 4 or 5 touchdowns, and throwing for another one. I mean, did he throw it to himself? I mean, seriously, did he line up and throw a half-back pass and go run down the field and catch it? I mean, just amazing.
There's some great individual players in the state right now, and we're very fortunate to be able to cover these guys, but there's some extremely talented players.
There really is, all the way all down, all classifications. 1A, I mean, there was a quarterback at Lynn. It's a 1A team that, I think they beat a 4A team they beat a 5A team last week, and the quarterback set some type of record. I think it was just a few yards shy, throwing for 500 yards in a game. That's some 1A football, man. I mean, it's amazing up and down. We try to highlight these kids throughout the week on the AHSAA Radio Network Facebook page, and a lot of people find that. Man, those posts go viral when we push them out. They get shared, hundreds of times, and the views are amazing. That's the whole goal. We want to bring attention to these accolades because it's amazing. Staying there in 4A football, Etowah over Hanceville 49 to 14. Just kind of looking down. Montgomery Catholic continues their run through regular season games. They shut out Bullitt County 38-0. This team has the longest regular season winning streak in the state. I think it goes back 4 years now that they haven't lost a regular season game. And they've been in the hunt for a state championship all of those years, and just they come up on a team that's not a good matchup, or they don't play quite as good as they should, and they lose. And, I know they're trying to get over the hump there, trying to figure that out. T.R. Miller over Escambia County 42-7. That is some of your scores. Another local score here, Handley over Talladega 51-13, and that'll wrap up some 4A. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll wrap up high school scores. We'll get you 3A through 1A, and then get you set. Talk some college football, some big matchups coming up this weekend, coming up today actually, as we talk about Auburn and Alabama and all the other college games coming up the rest of the day. Stay tuned. More of the Saturday Sports Countdown right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
Hey, honey, it's Mom. Just wanted to call and check in, see how everything's going. You'll probably say not to worry. Everything is great. But we miss you. I'll call you back later. How are you? Tell me everything.
Everything's great. I love it here.
This is Joseph Dean with Alabama Funeral Homes. As many of you are aware, we had a fire that significantly damaged our facilities. We are in the process of getting those rebuilt. We apologize for any inconvenience this may have caused the families that we serve. I want you to know that we are capable of handling all of your needs at Frederick Dean Funeral Home of Opelika, which will be servicing Alabama Funeral Homes families. We can be reached at our same number, 256-896-4502, or by email at joseph@alabamafuneralhomes.com.
You've dreamed about the perfect house, a place to call your own, and a place to not only stretch out, but to grow. Auto Owners protects your house because to you, it's home. That's simple human sense. Happy to help, man. I was just over there talking to myself anyway.
Frontline Outfitters provides all your aftermarket parts for your cars, trucks, and as well as your professional tinting solutions for auto, residential, and commercial buildings. Frontline Outfitters also handles vinyl wraps, spray-in bed liners, truck accessories, LED lighting, paint correction and detailing, and much more. Make sure Frontline Outfitters of Alexander City is your first call for tinting and aftermarket solutions. Call us today, 256-409-8100.
Hillaby Towers is an affordable senior citizens community located in Alexander City on Highway 22 East. Spacious one-bedrooms are available now. Great location, peaceful setting, comfortable living where pets are allowed and utilities are included. Call today to find out more information on Alexander City's best-kept secret, 256-329-0552. That's Hillaby Towers in Alexander City.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Saturday Sports Countdown presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air. You can give us a call, 256-234-6221 if you'd like. Comment away there on Facebook Live. Go down to 3A. This is a tough classification, and there are a lot of private schools here. St. James, Madison Academy, the list goes on and on. But we'll run Alabama Christian over Prattville Christian, 44-14. Beulah knocks off Childersburg, 26-16. Colbert County's got a good football team. Yeah. They were in the state championship game a couple of years ago. They knocked off Colbert Heights, 49-27. Geraldine, good football team. Up in the northern part of the state, knocks off Westbrook Christian 30-7. Gordo, always a good football program, 35-6 over Fayette County. Houston Academy over Northside, 42-7. Madison Academy over Vinemont, 49-6. Mars Hill Bible, man, 62-6 over Field County. This is Mobile Christians in this classification. They knock off Cottage Hill 34-0. Ops, a good football team. They knock off Delville 33-14. Piedmont's in this classification. They went over Glencoe 58-12. Providence Christians in this classification. They knock off Pike County 46-26. St. James, who won the state championship, over Trinity 47-7. You don't want to be in 3.
Yeah, it's tough.
If you're a smaller school, you don't want to be in 3.
Yeah. You don't really have an opportunity, and all of these teams you're mentioning, for the most part, have an opportunity. I mean, there's 2 or 3 that maybe are better, but generally speaking, 3A, there's 7 to 10 teams probably that could win it.
I mean, I just named off probably 8 or 9. Walter Welborn in a regional matchup there for Dayville. Walter Welborn 30, Randolph County 25. And that'll close out 3A. We'll go down to 2A. 2A is surprisingly really tough too. From top to bottom, man, they have just got some solid teams in 2A, namely Fife, obviously, who has really been toting the banner for years. But they're not number 1 right now. B.B. Comer's number 1. Fife knocked off San Rock 47-0. Reeltown right here in Tallapoosa County along with Horseshoe Bend, but Reeltown and Horseshoe Bend played each other last night, and Reeltown all over Horseshoe Bend 48-6. It's setting up an unbelievable matchup with them and Highland Home here in a couple of weeks. Highland Home knocks off Barber County 39-0. Another local score here, Fayetteville knocks off Central Coosa 50-8. And I think if you look down, that was a game I thought Central Coosa may have had a chance to win, but I was a little shocked by that score, the discrepancy of that score, because Horseshoe Bend last week, I think they laid it to Fayetteville pretty good, didn't they? Or Lynette.
Well, it was Lynette.
Or Lafayette. And then the week before they beat Fayetteville. Vincent over Woodland, 41-7. Again, trying to look down any other scores there of note in 2A. We'll slide on down to 1A. And, again, that Lynn team, I don't know a lot about Lynn, But I look down, and this is what you see almost every week. They beat Brilliant 63-6. I mean, whoever, it doesn't matter who they're playing.
Wow.
You know, they're a good football program.
So they're South Alabama?
I believe so. I believe they're in South Alabama. Here's one you got to talk about. Coosa Christian 94, Cedar Bluff 7. And I was told, you know, before the week started that you better eye that game because Coosa Christian had to forfeit their first 4 games, I think, due to an ineligible player, and there was some controversy there, and don't really know what all went on with that. But heard the coaches were upset, and maybe they're out to prove something. And look, I'm not condoning, you know, running up the score on anybody, you know, and I don't know anything about Cedar Bluff's program either, but Coosa Christian obviously sent a message, and right or wrong, again, you know, it's not our business. I didn't see the games. I don't know how it played out, but I was told to watch that game before the week started, and they almost scored 100.
I mean, that's I don't know how you get that many possessions. That's pick sixes, that's kick returns, that's something. I mean,
and that's trying. You got to try to score 94.
Yeah.
I mean, and because we just talked about Clay Central and Sylacauga being in an 8-minute running quarter, third and fourth quarter, the second half, when they were up 42, 48, whatever it was to nothing. I mean, I'm sure they went to a running clock in the second half.
Still, that's just.
Yeah, but Coosa Christian's really good, and they're going to be the 4th seed. And it's going to be like that Vigor situation. You know, down in 1A, somebody's going to get Coosa Christian, and you ain't getting a 4 seed. You're getting probably what would be a number 1 seed. Yeah. Maplesville knocks off Billingsley 43-13. Notasoga over Central Hayneville 32-8. Pickens County over Holy Spirit 51-0. You know, Leroy over Southern Choctaw 41-8. Just your normal teams that you see in 1A that are really, really good. Sweetwater knocked off Keith 27-7. Wadley over Victory Christian 34-0. I mean, they're going to have something to say about 1A.
Yeah, Wadley. They're
loaded, and they've got a tremendous running back.
I was about to say, the backfield comprised of what they have is going to be something.
How many
that
people have a 6'4", 220-pound running back?
I was
Derrick Henry back there.
So that's what Coach Phillips, when they pat him first game in, he said that's what you remind me of. He said it's Derrick Henry in high school, and he said that's.
I'm not sure anybody's played a tougher schedule than Horseshoe Bend. I'm serious.
Tough. Yeah.
I mean, when you start with Wadley,
I think they've played five of the teams they played were in the top 8 probably. 4 in the region were top 10. Wadley number 1 at the time. Man. Yeah.
It just is what it is. You know, Reeltown, just again, you know, for Horseshoe Bend, Reeltown's just really, really good right now. Matt Johnson's got that program going. I mean, they're right up there, in my opinion, as one of the top 3 or 4 teams in the classification. Will have a chance to win a 2A state championship. I mean, B.B. Comer 5, Reeltown, those teams are all going to be in the mix. Going to be interesting. I think B.B. Comer and Reeltown will have to meet. So who comes out of the south, and, you know, Fife going to be sitting up there in the north, still the favorite in my opinion until somebody can prove they can knock them off. But some good football teams, man, in the state of Alabama, up and down classifications. That's why we love the Super 7 so much, Scott. You know, it doesn't matter which classification you call. You know you're going to be getting some good football and some really, really good teams. So that'll wrap up high school as we head into hour number 2 here in just a little bit. Make sure you get your comments, your questions in. We'll talk Auburn, LSU, Alabama, Arkansas, the rest of some really big football games on slate today. Washington and Oregon this afternoon. Bo Nix has a chance, Scott, to make a strong push for the Heisman Trophy head-to-head against Michael Penix, and then he'll play Caleb Williams a little bit later on. I would think those 3 guys are right there at the top in the Heisman discussion. If he beats both of them head-to-head, and then I think he'll have to play maybe Southern Cal again for a championship. It's a tough road to navigate, but I think Oregon can do it. And if he does, man, you better just give him the trophy.
Yeah, I'm really rooting for him. I think that he's somebody that, you know, with his time at Auburn, the legacy that he has there, people are rooting for him, and feels like he's been playing for 15 years too. But
he's been playing for 5. He's been playing for 5 years.
Wow.
I mean, so he played 3 for Auburn.
Wow.
And last time Auburn won in LSU 2 years ago,
it was because of him.
It was Bo Nix making plays. So we're going to take a break. Stay tuned. More of the Saturday Sports Countdown right after this.
It's truck season at AHSAA Automotive. New Honda Ridgelines, $349 a month. Ford Rangers, $357 a month. Nissan Frontiers, $379 a month. And Chevrolet Silverados, $399 a month at AHSAA Automotive. Plus, you get a lifetime warranty, no charge, engine, powertrain, and more. It's truck season at AHSAA Honda, Tony Serra Ford, Serra Nissan, and Serra Chevrolet.
Whether it's Lake Martin, Lay Lake, or Logan Martin, boaters from all over the state of Alabama come to Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama, because it's worth the drive. With the best deals on unbeatable Suzuki outboards, Manitou and Landau Tritoons, and a great pre-owned inventory while they last. Alex City Marine is the pros the locals know. And no matter where you're from, when you're here, you're local to us. Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama. AlexCityMarine.com. You don't have to ask who, what, or why. Who's Diner is the go-to place for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Conveniently located at the corner of Highway 22 and 280 in Alex City. Who's Diner offers the best meals and the best deals in town. Try our fresh, made-from-scratch pancakes, chicken salad, Philly cheesesteak, or the Who Burger. It doesn't get any better than who? Who's Diner, of course, on the corner of Highway 22 and 280. Who's hungry? The same professionals you've trusted with your urgent care is now your primary health provider. Main Street Family Care. We provide annual physical exams as well as monitoring health conditions such as high blood pressure, diabetes, asthma, and more. All major insurances accepted, Medicaid, Medicare, and have self-pay options to accommodate everyone. See us in Alex City, just across from Walmart. Your care is our primary concern.
Main Street Family Urgent Care. Heal better, feel better fast.
Lewis Pest Control is now serving Alexander City and the entire Lake Martin area. They've been family owned and operated for over 60 years. Whether it's residential, commercial, or industrial, Lewis has environmentally safe products for all your pest control needs. Lewis Pest Control.
Lay your best to rest. Call the best. Lewis Pest Control.
Let Riverbank and Trust open doors for you. Whether you're purchasing land, a lot by the lake, or building or buying a home, begin with Tallapoosa County's loan experts. They'll guide you through the entire process, providing local decision-making, prompt responses, and the best real estate loan solutions for your unique needs. And in most cases, Riverbank and Trust can close your loan in 30 days or less, and they'll walk by your side every step of the way. It's all just part of the Riverbank and Trust difference. We invite you to experience it for yourself.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Saturday Sports Countdown final segment here in hour number 1. Scott, you'll step aside, and you'll be replaced by another Scott.
Another Scott, yeah.
So we just got Scotts everywhere.
Yeah, we do have October. I do need to give a plug for that.
Yeah.
We do have Oktoberfest taking place at the Charles E. Bailey Sportplex in Alex City today. So come out and enjoy it. Lots of events and things, so please support.
My daughter's out there dancing here in just a few minutes. So.
Yeah. That's what I got.
Everybody up and at them on a Saturday morning for the Oktoberfest. Glad the weather. I know it's a little bit damp, but the weather's going to be fine.
Yeah.
So get on out and support. It's always a fun event here in Alexander City. Real quick, the statewide game of the week was here in Alex City on Thursday night. Vincent and the entire crew, Mickey Shadricks and our very own Caleb Brooks called the game, and it was a great opportunity to. That Thursday night game is so well produced. I enjoy watching it every week, and I told Mickey, I said, usually on Thursday night I'm kicked back watching them wherever they are, and they do such a great job. But Mickey was very complimentary of the Sportplex. He said, man, he just bragged about how beautiful the facility was, and how beautiful, the drive through the Sportplex was. He's like, man, he said, I'd like to come back and just walk around these trails and look at all the different things here. And, we're adding the school over there that's being built. It's just really a very, very nice venue for a lot of events that the Out City Parks and Rec, maintains and controls. And we are. They go all around the state. And it's like he said, you don't set up in a press box that's got that much room and for that equipment and stuff like that, not like we have. And so we're blessed, man. I mean, in Alex City to have a facility that we get to call our own. A lot of facilities that big are shared by high schools, and we've got it to ourselves, and it's a blessing.
It is, and I think with the addition of the high school, that's just going to be so much more attention being brought to the Sportplex, and excited to see the developments that are taking place there. I was talking to our Parks director earlier in the week and just saying how much progress has been made just in the prep work to get the school ready. It looks like a completely different site there, so very excited about the progression of that development. Yeah,
I was over there a couple of weeks ago, and just the site and everything looks totally different back there, and it's just so vast. You don't realize how big a piece of property that is that's gonna house the new high school. We're excited about it there. Jerome said Bama wins 34-17 today. He said, and if Auburn plays like they did against Georgia, Auburn will win. But he said if they don't, they'll lose. So
that's it.
Good point. I think that, and we're going to dive into this more in the second hour, but I think Auburn has a chance down there if they'll control the ball. LSU's not good running against the run, and that's what Auburn does well. They're number 3 in the conference in running the football at a little over 200 yards a game, and LSU happens to be dead last at stopping the run.
I mean, that's a combination for success if you're Auburn. And, the Georgia game, I think the biggest thing that you could take away from that is just that if we have some players, we just got to get some players.
Right.
That's the key component.
Well, we're just short. Yeah. We've got some pretty good football players, but from a depth standpoint, it's like Jason Caldwell said on the show yesterday. He said Georgia can come out slow and they can struggle and they can make some mistakes and overcome them because of their talent and what they built. But Auburn almost has to play mistake-free and perfect every week against these teams to have a chance to win. And they almost did it against Georgia. They came out and thought they executed well, didn't have very many penalties, ran the football well, played good on defense, turned Georgia over a couple of times, which led to scores, which you had to have. It was starting to come together as the perfect, recipe to win against Georgia, where you were a big underdog. And, again, Georgia proves why they're the best team in the country right now. And I think they listened all week to the media and the naysayers out there go, Georgia may not be as good as they've been in the past. And they go, just hold my beer, And Kentucky, unfortunately, had to make a trip to Athens. And it seems like Kentucky is in this position every year. They're either 5-0, 4-1, something going into Georgia, and everybody's like, wow, can Kentucky do it this year? And they get their doors blown off.
Yeah.
And so Mark Stoops is a good coach, probably the most consistent coach in the SEC over the last 10 to 12 years. But I think – and Kentucky can't complain because if they lose Mark Stoops, who are they going to get in this era of college football? You got a lot of consistency. He's recruited well. Whether you like to say it or not, that is a basketball school, always has been, I think always will. But, they're trying to get over the hump. When you start becoming a good program, your fans start getting a little bit of a taste of wanting to get to the next level.
Yeah.
And he can't do it. I don't know that anybody can do it at Kentucky, so I think they're kind of just like, hey, man,
if he's going to give them 8 wins a year, go to, maybe push for 9 with a bowl win, that's pretty remarkable job to be doing that at Kentucky. And that's been for 5 years that's been happening. So, I'm with you there.
I think we had this discussion as Auburn fans. Would you rather be a 9 to 10 win team every single year and not win an SEC championship, or would you rather have the ebbs and flows and every 4 or 5 years win a championship or have a chance to win a championship and go through the roller coaster that we've been through? You know, that was kind of what Georgia was sitting there with Mark Richt. 10, 11 wins a year, could never get over the hump. It wasn't good enough. You know, and until Georgia took that step and said, hey, I know we're probably going to catch some grief, but we can't keep Mark Richt if we're ever going to go to the next level. And people said they were stupid. You know, you're firing a guy that wins 10, 11 games a year, but you'll never get there unless you try to get that next guy, and they go get Kirby Smart, and he gets them over the hump. You know, Paul Benefield said that at Fife High School in our documentary. He said, I was runner-up so many years and getting there and close, and I'm thinking to myself, what can we do to get over the hump? And he scrapped everything he was doing and changed his offensive philosophy. And he said a lot of people probably would have said, what are you doing? You're winning 11, 12 games a year, 13 games a year. Why are you scrapping it? Because he said it wasn't good enough to get over the hump. I had to change something to get over the hump, and he changed it. And look at all the state championships he's won now. So a lot of times it's, are you comfortable where you are, or do you want to press it a little bit? So
that's
could
a good way
Kentucky
of putting it.
Say, hey, Mark, you know, we appreciate it, and you've done way better than we thought we could ever do here at Kentucky, but we think we can get over the hump. We think we can win a championship here at Kentucky. And
I think that's the
take
key.
a chance and go get somebody else.
Is the realization of what your expectation is. What if they think that they're good enough, or they've gotten to a point where, okay, they can at least be in the Florida, Tennessee category, then maybe you do go get somebody else. But
that's what I'm saying. I mean, that's interesting. It's interesting. It makes you think. Real quick before we go to break, Tony said, just tuned in, Jason Franklin's team at Hopeville has it going once again for the second time since 1993. Hopeville will be hosting a playoff game. He said they'll travel to Demopolis next Friday for a region championship.
That's
a good coach, man.
Yeah, Franklin is.
Went to Hopeville when, man, they weren't winning anything. I mean, nothing. And has turned it around, and he's had several big years down there at Hopeville. You know, it's a good coach at Horseshoe Bend while he was here. And so kudos to Hopeville down there. Appreciate that update. Tony will take the top of the hour break. Stay tuned. More Saturday Sports Countdown coming your way right after this.
Truckloads of fresh new inventory are rolling into Glenn Smith GMC in Opelika. The new full-size GMC Sierra 4x4 crew cabs discounted up to $12,000 off. The popular GMC Terrains up to $5,500 off. And GMC Acadias up to $6,000 off. Plus, no payments till 2024.
Get your best price every day at Glenn Smith GMC on the lot or online at glennsmith.com. Get ready to smile.
The Alabama Slammer. It's a popular drink at parties, but drink too many and you'll wind up in this Alabama Slammer. And if you drink and drive, get ready for a real Alabama Slammer. If you're involved in a crash where a driver's been drinking, you're 4 times more likely to die.
Drive safe, Alabama. A message from your Alabama Department of Transportation.
There's only one clear choice in the Lake Martin area for plumbing, heating, and air. That's All Clear Plumbing and Air. Our professionally trained technicians offer full-service repair and installation on all major brands. From drips to water heaters, thermostats to entire air conditioning and heating systems, and everything in between. Our fast, reliable, and guaranteed top-notch customer service will keep you informed and up to speed through the entire process. Call us today or look for us on Facebook and Instagram at All Clear Plumbing and Air, 256-496-2056. License number 19172.
If you haven't been to Big B Barbecue in Alex City, then you're missing the best barbecue around. Big B has everything from the best pulled or chopped pork, chicken, and beef to cheeseburgers and grilled chicken salads. Bring your friends and family out for a great dinner and sit outside on our beautiful patio, or sit inside and enjoy your meal by the fireplace. So come in and join us and enjoy the best barbecue in the area only at Big B Barbecue, located on Highway 22 West in Alex City.
Happy fall, y'all! It's Pumpkin Palooza time here at Gorey's Furniture. Make a purchase, pick a pumpkin, win a prize.
Every pumpkin has a number, and every number is a winner.
Discounts include free delivery, 10, 20, and up to 40% off, and that's only at Gorey's Furniture.
Happy Halloween from Gorey's Furniture.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Saturday Sports Countdown. Another Scott. It's same name.
I'm the older and better looking Scott.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
And as you get a Fox alert there on your phone.
Oh, I didn't turn it off.
You can't even hear it.
I know.
But anyway.
I'm so used to hearing
it. Did you put the menthols down?
I did, yeah.
Okay. Anyway, glad to have Scott up here with me now. And Scott Hardy going over to the Oktoberfest this morning. My daughter's dancing over there here a little bit later on. I know there's a lot of stuff going on at Oktoberfest. Always a fun event here in Alexander City. Here in hour number 2, obviously get your calls, get your comments in. We'd love to hear from you. College football, we'll start with Alabama. Alabama taking on Arkansas. And again, I don't want to say Sam Pittman is in danger. I don't know that Arkansas, and I was on Gary Harris's show in Tuscaloosa yesterday, and amazing how many coaches they've been through in just the last 7 or 8 years. I mean, it's an ungodly amount of coaches. I mean, it makes what we've gone through look failed in comparison.
Oh, yeah.
So let's go to the phone lines. I think we have Luke Robinson. Luke, is that you, buddy?
It is. How's it going?
Just good, buddy. Thanks for being on, as always, on Saturday here to start hour number 2. And we were just about to dive into Alabama. Luke, I was on Gary Harris's show yesterday. I was telling everybody, and it's amazing how many coaches Arkansas – I didn't really realize it until Gary and I talked about it, how many coaches Arkansas has been through just in the last 7 or 8 years. And it makes what all we've gone through – at Auburn and what y'all went to prior to Nick Saban look like the biggest stability in the world. I mean, they have gone through them over there.
Well, it's not just that they've gone through them, it's that they've gone through so many different styles. I mean, that has been, Morris was one, high-flying, throw it around the yard. At least that was his reputation. It didn't really turn out that way. Brett Bielema, rough and tumble. Now, their current coach is a little bit more like that, I would guess. But then, of course, you had Bobby Petrino, who was known as an innovator. And nothing has really gotten a foothold. And it's not to say nothing can. I think I've learned in college football, never say never, right? But it's harder. It's more difficult. I mean, if Nick Saban, let's say, had gone to Arkansas, which I don't think he ever would have, but let's just pretend like if he was coming out of pro football, wanted to get out, and Alabama wasn't available, and let's say that Arkansas called him and wooed him and gave him a bunch of money, would Arkansas have been good? You're dang right they would have been good. They would have been real good. Would they have won as many championships as Alabama has? No way, because they don't have the foundation Alabama has. That's just not going to happen. But they would have been good. They probably would have a national championship or two. There's no doubt in my mind. That being said, my point is, I think that there's some places that you're just never going to get. If you're Arkansas, you probably look at it like we've got all this Walmart money, we've got other oil money, we got Jerry Jones, we got all this stuff. Why can't we do that? Well, I think it's more than that. It's more than just having the money. You've got to also have the resources. I think it's, when you talk about Alabama and you talk about Auburn being here, or you talk about Louisiana with LSU, you talk about Georgia with, their state, it's also about the high school talent you produce. I mean, Tennessee found out for the longest time, Tennessee recruited all over the country. And that worked out fine because they had set up some avenues. But then when other folks started doing that and stealing and blockading some of their resources to get into these high schools, then they were in trouble because they didn't have the connections in the state anymore, and their state doesn't put out the talent at all. I saw a stat last night. I meant to tweet it out and forgot. Alabama is like the fifth most ESPN 300 kids over the last 3 or 4 years or something like that. You know, California's 1, Georgia's 2, or Florida's 2, Texas 3, something like that. But Alabama's number 5. I mean, our little old Alabama. And that tells you that our state is just different in the way we approach it. Arkansas is never going to have that. They'll have a McFadden, a Darren McFadden every now and again. And he's awesome. I mean, he's as good as they come. But the problem is they don't have Darren McFaddens very often. They don't have guys that are 80% Darren McFadden very often. So I think that's going to be the thing. And Arkansas is just going to always have an uphill climb. I mean, they've got a long road to hoe, and I don't see it changing anytime soon.
Yeah, it's only going to get tougher with the addition of Oklahoma, Texas, those teams.
Well, Arkansas is in the middle of nowhere. I mean, you can't get there from here.
Yeah, that's right.
Once you get there, there's nothing around there.
And they're kind of lost. I think, Luke, you and I talked about this, as far as their identity. They came out of the Southwest Conference, and, they're really in Big 12 country, but they're competing in the SEC. And, now you bring Texas and Oklahoma, who are two powerhouses in, which I think is going to make it tougher. I mean, look, I just talked about Kentucky for a while. And Mark Stoops has probably been the most consistent coach across the board outside of Nick Saban in the league. And Kentucky has done well under him, but they seem to always be 4-1 or 5-0 and play Georgia every year and get their doors blown off. They can't get over the hump. And I was given an example of how Mark Richt won 10 or 11 games a year, and Georgia got tired of it eventually because they couldn't win anything. And everybody thought, well, man, that's stupid firing a guy that wins 10 or 11 games. And, but to do that, to win a championship, they had to do it. And they got Kirby Smart. Now they've won 2, and they're probably going to be favored to win another one this year. But I'm not sure Kentucky could afford to do that, even if they wanted to make the step and say, look, we appreciate what you've done, Mark, for all these years, but we want to try to win a championship. I think Kentucky and Arkansas are kind of in the same boat there. I just think, maybe they're at the ceiling. I think maybe every once in a while they put a good year together, but for the most part, I think Kentucky fans just have to be content with what they have.
Yeah, I think if I'm Kentucky and I get rid of Mark Stoops, I deserve whatever I get. Exactly. I mean, they're still – I mean, if I were Arkansas and Kentucky got rid of Mark Stoops, my first call would be to Mark Stoops.
Right.
Because I think Stoops would probably even do a little better at Arkansas than he's doing at Kentucky, even in the SEC West, even though there's not going to be an SEC West anymore. So, and I think that, Kentucky is getting there. I don't know that Stoops is going to be the one to take them to an SEC championship, which I think is the way we would grade Kentucky in terms of, getting to that A+. I mean, nobody's expecting Kentucky to win a national championship. Right. But I think that if they were just to get to Atlanta, I think we'd all be like, okay, that guy deserves a statue. That's pretty remarkable. And he's unfortunately in the SEC at the same time as Kirby Smart, who has figured out that the sleeping giant of Georgia, we all knew if Georgia ever got their act together, they were going to be hell on wheels, and that's exactly what they are. There's some schools like Texas is the same way. If they get it together, like completely together, they're going to be tough to deal with. Georgia the same way, USC the same way, and throughout history they have done that from time to time. And they are one of those just blue blood schools that are always going to be able to do that. Kentucky is not going to be able to do that. I just about don't care who the coach is. It's just not in their DNA.
It's not. And to go back to y'all's opponent today, Arkansas, with Sam Pittman, he's a guy that, I think fits the mold at Arkansas, but I know people get exhausted hearing that. Who's the fit for Arkansas? Well, if you had to draw a guy, it'd be Sam Pittman. At the end of the day, that kind of evaporates, and you got to look at results. And I think Sam Pittman's doing a good job. He came from Georgia, if you remember, and on that staff, and really brought a little bit of energy to Arkansas, and they kind of played above their head the first year. They're just not a very good program. And again, with all the disadvantages built in around them, I don't know how good Arkansas can be in modern era football now. Now, I know they've got history, but sitting here in 2023 moving forward in the world of NIL, transfer portal, and all the different changing things of college football, I just don't know what Arkansas can be.
Yeah, it's very difficult to have an identity. I mean, when you think about Arkansas, it just doesn't – I still think of them as being a little more southwest than I do southeast. Here's another thing. This is where I think somebody like, in Alabama certainly has an advantage, not just the resources from the high schools and things like that, which put out a lot more talent than Arkansas. But Alabama's got a lot of teams that consider Alabama their number one rival. I mean, they really do. I mean, and I think that that's a positive. Yes, you're by rule despised by a lot of other fan bases, which is fine. But I think it also makes it where you're interesting. Who's Arkansas's rival? I mean, who do you think of when you're like Arkansas? When Arkansas plays this team, that's must-watch TV. Now, A&M, okay, but that's in the beginning of the season, and Arkansas never seems to beat them. That's a problem. And it means Arkansas is usually out of the race, so they become immediately disinterested, or fan bases do, disinterested in watching Arkansas from that point forward. If Arkansas, they've tried to make this thing with LSU, the battle for the boot or whatever, and it's never really taken a hold. They've had some fun games with Auburn, I guess, but I wouldn't say Auburn and Arkansas really look at each other as these, rivals. You need to have an identity that's way. You need to be somebody's villain so that you can be somebody else's hero. If you're just middle of the road all the way across the board, nobody's really ever going to look at you twice. And I feel like when you have Sam Pittman, who is a pretty good football coach, I'll tell you what, if Arkansas fired him and Alabama hired him as, hey, we're going to hire him as a consultant or offensive line coach or whatever the next day, I'd be fired up about it. I think he's good. I think he's a good recruiter. I think he's a good dude. But, in the end, and here's another thing. Arkansas could lose today, and I think they will lose today, and they could win out. I mean, I think they'll be in a nice position to win out. Yeah, they got Missouri. Yeah, they did go to Florida. Yeah, they got Auburn at home. But I think they can beat all those teams. They've got a pretty good quarterback. They got a few things. So I think they can beat all those teams. And then what? I mean, you're sort of stuck in the same time loop you've been in. So I think Arkansas is in a bit of a quandary. I think, I do applaud them for some outside-the-box hires like a Brett Bielema. It just didn't work out. Or even a Chad Morris, who everybody thought that might be a home run because he was, just going to bring all this excitement, and it was just god-awful. It just didn't work. Sometimes things just don't work out.
It was a tremendous disaster. I don't think anybody could envision how bad that hire would be. Luke, again, I think obviously Alabama will win the game. Just kind of give your take real quick. Jalen Milroe, good performance last week against Texas A&M. Stood in the pocket, threw for over 300 yards, and did what he had to do on the road to get a win.
Yeah, he's playing a lot better. But here's what you're going to get with Jalen Milroe. You're going to get what you got last week. Now, his long ball is turning out to be pretty nice, and Alabama's got the speed at receiver to make that work. And if he can just get it in their area code, they can make a big catch. I mean, and that happened a few times last week. But what you're also going to get with Milroe, you're going to get a bad interception. And I think what's finally happened this past week is the defense is like, okay, we can't be mad about his getting an interception. We just got to go get one ourselves. And what happened last week, Caleb Downs makes a miraculous interception 2 plays later. So it gives the ball right back to Alabama. They go score. And Milroe threw a dime for that touchdown. You're also going to get, at the end of the game, instead of having the wherewithal to know, okay, look, all we got to do is kneel on the ball. His training sort of kicked in. I think he panicked a little bit, and he tried to throw it out to a wide-open receiver. Hey, in the second quarter, that's a fantastic play. At the end of the game, when all you got to do is kneel to win it, it's a terrible play. And people can get on to him and be mad about it. This is what you're going to get. Here's what I think is happening with Milroe. His ceiling is rising. His floor is remaining about the same. So that's about all you can do. If his ceiling were rising and his floor were sinking, we could be for even more volatility. But I don't think that's the case. I think his ceiling's getting higher incrementally. I mean, just a little bit every week, and his floor is staying about where it was. I can live with that. That means he's getting better. I can live with that, and I think Alabama can go to the SEC championship with that. I don't know if they can win it. I don't know if they can go to the playoffs, but I think and he's going to have to improve a lot more to even have a shot against a team like Georgia. But at least he's given Alabama a shot, and I think that's all we can ask for.
All right, Luke, before we let you go, last night, a lot of people either at a high school football game or just kind of chilling out. And, these Friday college football games are usually non-interesting. Colorado, Stanford, I watched a little bit of the first part of it. I said, well, this is going to be what I thought. Colorado going to run away with it, going to destroy them. They got Travis Hunter back. It was at home. Stanford was 1-4. They looked terrible. I went to bed. I wake up this morning. Stanford comes from 29 points down. They win in double overtime. This is a comeuppance of reality for Deion. I don't think Deion's going to shy away from it. I think if Deion – I haven't seen his press conference, but I'm sure he said, look, we had them where we wanted them, and, we're not mature enough or able enough to put a team away. So he handles those press conferences really well, by the way. But, man, just a shocker for Colorado. And, man, I think everybody kind of checked that one off as a win for Colorado after the start they had, and they would have been 5-2. But, man, that's a chink in the armor for sure.
Yeah, it was a bad look. And it's not only that, it was a loss to a team that is essentially the antithesis of Colorado on a lot of levels. I mean,
right.
This is one of the worst Stanford teams I've seen in a long time. They are typically considered to be not very athletic at all. Where you look at Shadur Sanders or Travis Hunter, those are two of the best athletes in the country. They are not showboaty at all. Whereas Colorado is, they'll show you their diamond encrusted watches right after the game. It was two teams that were polar opposite, and Colorado had them at home and had a 29-point lead, and they blew it. I mean, there's no other way to say it. And it's for all the people that have been, lauding Deion with praise, and I've been one of them because it really has given Colorado a boost. But then you see some of the videos. I don't know if you guys have seen it circulating on social media, some of the ways that Colorado fans have become and their attitudes, the way that they've, been just dog cussing people, other fans going into the stadium and things like that. And I'm like, okay, I don't mind the players being a little showboaty. I don't mind the players, having some confidence and some swagger. But, I do think it's a problem when it rubs off on the fan base and they feel like they're completely entitled to act like jerks going into the stadium. And I feel like that's sort of Deion can't talk to each one of them individually, but I think this is somewhere that Deion could stand up and go, hey, guys, we need our fans there. We want your support. But at the same time, we don't want to be – we're not Miami 1983. I mean, we're not that good. If we were that good, maybe you'd have a leg to stand on. But we've still lost to some bad teams. So, let's try to learn how to build this program – in a good way while still keeping our identity, which is we're going to, have some swagger and have some confidence about ourselves, which I don't think anybody's got a problem with. But, yeah, that was an embarrassment last night, and Deion just took it on the chin, and hopefully he will own up to it.
It reminds me, I was the Miami team of '92 when Alabama beat them in the Sugar Bowl.
Right.
All the hype they had, and
Lamar Thomas,
the one time that I actually pulled for Alabama in a bowl game, it was against them,
Miami,
but against Miami, they kind of remind me of them a little bit.
Yeah, and
they
I
need
think
to calm that down some.
Well, I think too, Luke, Colorado has been bad for so long, and their fans have been beat down. Now they got a little success. They're the center of the college football world from an attention standpoint, from the media with Deion and all that. And all of a sudden, it's like somebody, I hate to say it, that's poor and comes into, wins the lottery and they don't know how to act. It's like.
So it's new money.
Yeah.
New money.
That's right.
It's not just new money. And they thought it was new money in the form of cash. It was new credit.
You're right.
You still got to pay the monthly bill. And that's the difference. Okay, you've got a much larger line of credit. Now, if you go out and spend it all, and meaning you run your mouth too much, and I'm talking more about the fans here than the players, by the way, that if you go out and spend it all and act that way, eventually you still got to pay your bill. And if you can't pay your bill, it's going to be embarrassing. And I feel like that's what sort of happened last night. I mean, there were all these pictures of Colorado fans crying, and I'm like, my God, the only reason you should have cried for losing that game is if you had bet everything in your checking account on it. That's the only reason.
Some
you
of them may
shouldn't be
have,
crying because
yeah.
Colorado lost. My God, are you not used to it by now?
Yeah, some of them may have. They may have bet everything they had, but you're right. I think that type of culture, that type of action and pizzazz by Dion and the team can create a toxic culture amongst the fan base that they can't handle. So we'll see how that plays out. A couple more losses like that, there won't be a lot of jawing. There won't be a lot of talk coming from fans for sure. But Luke, we got to run, brother. We appreciate you staying on for 2 segments. We got to catch up, okay?
All right, guys, have a good one.
Thanks so much. That's Luke Robinson, and Alabama taking on Arkansas today. Not going to be a problem. So we'll take an extended commercial break here to catch up. Stay tuned. More of the Saturday Sports Countdown right after this.
Life is a sequence of little successes. The story of my Southern Union success began the day I walked on campus, making new friends, mastering a new skill, reaching a personal goal, the encore performance, the first date, the internship, and now, soon, the dream job. That's the story of my Southern Union success. Register for classes and get ready to watch your Southern Union story come to life.
Sometimes the word tradition is thrown out there too lightly. But when JR's Sports Bar and Grill is celebrating 25 years of Lake Martin's favorite place for wings, chicken fingers, good drinks, and good hometown folks, well, you know it's a true celebration. All of October, come celebrate with us for 25 awesome years. Chris and Audra are so thankful for each and every customer that's become part of JR's family. Come all month long, see our remodeling on the inside, and stay tuned for our October celebration event coming soon. JR's, a true 25-year tradition for the Lake Martin area.
If you're looking for something to do in the Lake Martin area, you have to go to Liquor by the Lake. Liquor by the Lake is not only the best place to pick up your hard-to-find liquors and craft beers, there's a bar. An awesome bar serving up specialty cocktails and martinis. And the best bushwhacker and creamsicle drinks at Lake Martin. Make plans to come out for happy hour Fridays from 7 to 9 with half-price beer and cocktails. And there's live entertainment on Thursdays. You can even watch the Alabama and Auburn games and Sunday and Monday night football. Liquor by the Lake located on Highway 49 in the Big Fish Complex near Stillwaters. Open at 1 every day but closed on Wednesday. Come see us.
They say we live in an age of big data, where computers and fancy algorithms are supposed to know you best. But at Country Financial, we know helping you own your future requires, well, something much bigger. Contact your local Country Financial representative and start planning for your future with a personal touch.
When you need an automotive hero, you got to call S&S Discount Tire Pros. With locations in Alexander City and Dayville, we are here to serve you today. From quick services like oil changes and tire rotations to in-depth automotive repairs such as suspensions, brakes, and tune-ups, S&S can take care of all your tire needs. You just have to focus on what's important and love the drive. Call S&S Discount Tire Pros today. We are automotive heroes, and we are here to serve you.
Truckloads of fresh new inventory are rolling into Glenn Smith GMC in Opelika. The new full-size GMC Sierra 4x4 crew cabs discounted up to $12,000 off. The popular GMC Terrains up to $5,500 off. And GMC Acadias up to $6,000 off. Plus, no payments till 2024.
Get your best price every day at Glenn Smith GMC on the lot or online at glennsmith.com. Get ready to smile.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice. Bice Motors.
Heritage South Credit Union in Alexander City is your community credit union, and they have been for over 80 years. Heritage South Credit Union proudly serves Tallapoosa, Coosa, Lee, Chambers, Randolph, and Chilton counties. From checking to business accounts, to share savings to club accounts, to their kids club and investments. Visit them online at myhscu.com. Heritage South Credit Union, your community credit union for 80 years. Federally insured by NCUA.
Planting season is here, and the Potting Shed Garden Center is happy to give you professional landscaping advice when it comes to planting your shrubs and trees. Auburn's best kept secret will have it all this fall. Mums, pansies, pumpkins, and much more. All in an array of colors and sizes, along with beautiful pots and containers, indoor plants, and a great selection of other gardening gifts. It's all at the Potting Shed Garden Shop, where natural elements reign supreme. Located on the corner of Moore's Mill and Society Hill Road in Auburn.
Have you stopped by Lifesavers Mission Thrift Store lately? If you haven't, you should. You'll find great pieces for your favorite do-it-yourself project. Lightly used name brand clothing by Free People, North Face, Matilda Jane, Patagonia, and a whole lot more. And while you're there, don't miss the shoes, decorative pieces, classic and new books, and Auburn and Alabama gear that won't cost you a fortune. So stop and shop at Lifesavers Mission Thrift Store today for a unique thrift experience that won't break the budget. Lifesavers Mission Thrift, located on East University behind Zaxby's.
Lake Area Realty specializes in Lake Martin real estate. They can help simplify your next real estate purchase or sell and have helped many home buyers and sellers through the area buy and sell real estate with precision. Lake Area Realty utilizes powerful marketing tools and knowledge of the lake to help you with your next move. Call your local hometown agency today. Lake Area Realty at 256-825-4800. That's 256-825-4800. Lake Area Realty, helping you find your way home.
Hi, this is Andrew McGreer at Dunning Roofing. At Dunning Roofing, we specialize in high-quality, premium roofs. We don't build roofs that just meet code requirements. We build quality roofs with premium materials that significantly exceed our competitors' warranties. We put money on your roof, not in our pockets. If you're looking for a top-quality roof, call Dunning Roofing today for your free quote at 256-307-7601 or visit us at DunningRoofingAL.com for more information.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Saturday Sports Countdown presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air. You can call us 256-234-6221. You can comment away there on Facebook Live. That's Sports Blitz, Sports with a Z. Auburn LSU, we'll shift over, talk about them. Auburn traveling to Baton Rouge, take on the LSU Tigers at 6 o'clock tonight. You know what it's like down in Baton Rouge at night, man. It's a house of horrors.
Done that.
It's a house of horrors for the visiting team most of the time. But, you know, Auburn won last time down there a couple of years ago, and maybe they can repeat the same performance. Not the same kind of team you're taking down there. I mean, Bo Nix is showing what kind of quarterback he really was right now at Oregon. And, you know, he really won the game. I know Auburn was down 13-0. He scrambled around. I mean, a play was tackled like 3 times, got out of it, made a pass while he was being tackled to Tyler Fromm. And, of course, Tyler Fromm was wide open because 8 of LSU's players were hanging on Bo Nix.
Right.
So, but that sparked Auburn, and Auburn came back and took the lead and kind of held on. That was Max Johnson over there, quarterback, who's now at Texas A&M.
Right.
You know, and Auburn really shut them down on defense after that. So I think it's going to be similar, Scott. I think Auburn's going to have to play like they've been playing defensively, which has been good enough to win every game.
Right.
And the offense is going to have to run the football. They're going to have to control time of possession.
And turnovers. Turnovers are going to be key, I think. We can't give it away. Like, we've been giving it away some. So.
Yeah. But we were better with Georgia.
Yeah.
You know, and again, Peyton Thorne, Coach Freeze talked about it this week, said, you know, really think he's getting better. And I do think we'll see Robbie Ashford tonight because of LSU's inability to stop the run. You know, Harold Perkins going into the season, everybody was lauding him, of course, from last year as a freshman, what he did at linebacker, but he hasn't been that player yet. I hope he doesn't show up tonight. But Harold Perkins, but that's who they've got over there.
I know.
I mean, they've got those kind of players, and Jason Caldwell, you know, talked with us yesterday. He said, you know, they still have a very talented defense, although their numbers are kind of not where they're used to being. He said this is still a very talented team. They're not as deep,
right,
but they still are talented. But I think Auburn really needs – I really think Auburn's offensive line is more physical than people give it credit for. I mean, you don't average 202 yards a game running the football with a very poor passing game if you're not physical up front. That means you're winning a lot of battles with teams that are stacking the box.
Right.
So, got to run the football.
Need to run.
Brian Battie, really been a pleasant surprise for this team coming from South Florida. You know, he's a smaller back, but he gives us an opportunity to turn the corner.
He's averaging 5 yards a carry.
Yeah. I mean, I think you got to give it to him a little bit more. Damari Austin, not going to play, obviously still out with that shoulder injury, which gave Brian Battie a little bit more of an opportunity to step up. I think you might see Jeremiah Cobb some in this game at running back. Obviously, Jarquez Hunter needs to start becoming the all-SEC back everybody
thought he would be.
That he was going to be.
He can be.
Yeah, and I know he went through a lot of stuff in the offseason. It kind of could have put him behind, but, Coach Freeze talked about some things this week at the press conference. He was talking about this environment. He said when he was at Ole Miss, he said, we had 2 shots to win there. One of them was a whipping. He said, we didn't get it done. He said, it's a difficult place to play, and obviously they've had some really, really good talent, some of the best in the country. He says it's probably because my first experience was being the head coach at Ole Miss or an assistant at Ole Miss and listening to stories of that rivalry from Johnny Vaught or former players that had played. He said it was a pretty big rivalry for me. I first got it in this conference, so I guess that's probably why going there and competing has always been very important. Not that other places don't. And I like Garth Brooks. So he said, I guess I like going to Baton Rouge. So talking about LSU's defense against Missouri, he said they've gone back to being, I assume, that they went back to playing very sound, not a lot of coverages, everybody doing the same job over and over again. Obviously, they got great athletes. It seems to be better understanding of what they wanted to accomplish at the beginning of the year. I mean, they did give up a lot of points, though. That's the thing that if you look at it from LSU's standpoint, they are giving up a lot of points. They lost a shootout to Ole Miss. They almost lost to Missouri on the road. But the deal is they were on the road for those 2 games. They're back in Baton Rouge for this game here.
I think we got to get out ahead of them down there because if you get behind, I know we were behind. I know 2 years ago we were behind down there and had a miracle from Bo Nix, but catching up down there.
No, and again, that crowd feeds off of what they're doing. And, we've been down there and we've taken them out too early. Yeah. And people will get the heck out of there.
If you take them out, the crowd
leave.
Gets out of it.
They'll leave, not just take them out. They'll pack up and leave the stadium. So I'm not expecting that to happen, but Jaden Daniels is completing 73% of his passes. 1,969 yards, 19 touchdowns, 2 picks for him. He's the best quarterback in the conference. And so that's what you got to deal with. You got to be able to contain him. He can get it done with his legs as well. He's also rushed for 422 yards and 4 touchdowns. So you got to figure out a way to kind of contain him. You're not going to stop him, but you're going to have to contain him. And when Auburn has a chance to get off the field on 3rd down, they got to get off the field and get the ball back to our offense.
That's what we didn't do against Georgia.
It's not what we did. That's right. I mean, Georgia's 3rd down conversion percentage was, what'd they miss on 2? I think in the second half.
Maybe.
And every time, we had them in a lot of 3rd and longs. Yeah. That last play for us to get the ball back to have a chance to win, it was 3rd and 12. Right. And everybody knew the ball was going to Brock Bowers. And he was still wide open. So you got to fix a lot of that kind of stuff. Because another break, stay tuned. More Saturday Sports Countdown right after this.
At C&T Electric, our clients are our priority. For the safety and security of your family and home, our technicians are professionally trained, drug tested, background checked, and wear uniforms with name tags. We're proud to have served the Elk City, Dadeville, and Lake Martin areas for the past 10 years. Give us a call at 256-234-0007 for all your electrical service and repair needs, or visit us on the web at www.cntelectricllc.com and spell out the word "and."
Have you met your local Farmers Insurance agent, Patrick Holina? He proudly serves Tallapoosa County and Alexander City families and businesses and is ready to review your existing policies or provide a no-obligation quote today. Call the Holina Agency at 256-234-0037 or stop in today at 704 Commerce Drive to get smarter about your insurance. Again, that's the Holina Agency, 256-234-0037.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
The food at Oscar's Cafe makes your mouth water. At Oscar's, enjoy great tasting catfish, or maybe you're just in the mood for one of Oscar's fresh salads. Even kids know the place for a fine meal is Oscar's with a great kids menu. Oscar's also has great tasting burgers full of backyard flavor. So come on out to Oscar's Cafe for great food and homegrown hospitality. We're located on Highway 49 South in Dadeville, just before the Blue Creek Bridge. And remember, it's all fun and games till there's only one cheese ball left.
Life is a sequence of little successes. The story of my Southern Union success began the day I walked on campus, making new friends, mastering a new skill, reaching a personal goal, the encore performance, the first date, the internship, and now, soon, the dream job. That's the story of my Southern Union success. Register for classes and get ready to watch your Southern Union story come to life.
Let Riverbank and Trust open doors for you. Whether you're purchasing land, a lot by the lake, or building or buying a home, begin with Tallapoosa County's loan experts. They'll guide you through the entire process, providing local decision-making, prompt responses, and the best real estate loan solutions for your unique needs. And in most cases, Riverbank and Trust can close your loan in 30 days or less, and they'll walk by your side every step of the way. It's all just part of the Riverbank and Trust difference. We invite you to experience it for yourself.
Lake Area Realty specializes in Lake Martin real estate. They can help simplify your next real estate purchase or sell and have helped many home buyers and sellers through the area buy and sell real estate with precision. Lake Area Realty utilizes powerful marketing tools and knowledge of the lake to help you with your next move. Call your local hometown agency today, Lake Area Realty, at 256-825-4800. That's 256-825-4800. Lake Area Realty, helping you find your way home.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Saturday Sports Countdown. A couple of segments left. We're going to talk about some games around the country in the SEC, but I thought this was cool, you know. Coach Freeze, big-time offensive coordinator, kind of cut his teeth there. And we seem like we always talk about offensive coordinators at Auburn, who's calling the plays, whatever. Right. Reporter asked it on what it takes to be a successful play caller. I thought this is pretty cool. He said, I think play callers are a different breed. He said, I think there's a ton of guys that can sit in a room and formulate an incredible game plan, but don't have the instincts and ability to see what's going on and how the defense is attacking in different ways. Then there's those who probably can't put it on paper, the greatest game plans, but can sit in a booth and have a knack for calling a game. There's the difference in people like that. He said, I kind of compare it to a geometry teacher. He said, I taught geometry back when I was a high school coach. He said, your mind works in angles and space and being able to see things in that manner. I don't think that it makes a lot of sense. He said, I remember asking a certain coach in this league when we were visiting, you've had some really good offensive coordinators. Which one would you want if you had one shot to win it all on Saturday? His answer was, for the game plan, this one. For calling the game, this one. He said, I thought that was interesting and kind of proved my thoughts. You got the right person at the right time.
Right.
You know, but I think he brings up a good point. He never thought about it, an analytical mind, being able to see things. And I thought Freeze breaking it down, saying, there's a guy that probably can't put it on paper, but he can get in the booth and look and can't really. It's almost like reading music or playing music by ear.
Yeah.
You just know how to play instead of reading the music on the sheet.
Don't bog me down in all the paperwork.
Right. Like just let me kind of cut me loose and let me go. It's a fine line on.
I know a lot of good play callers, buddies of mine. They all know how to call.
There's
plays.
A lot of good play callers. There's no doubt.
Yeah, this afternoon be a bunch. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of a lot of quarterback coaches sitting on the couch, sitting there and knowing exactly what play call the coach should have made after the play's over.
That's right.
But again, Auburn LSU, you made your prediction yesterday. I did too.
Yeah.
I said 31-17 LSU. You kind of.
I went with my heart. We win by 3, and my brain said we lose by 4.
So there you go. So, well, I hope your heart wins out.
Me too.
Let's talk about games around the SEC. Some interesting games today. I mean, there's going to be some good football games out there. I'll start with A&M in Tennessee at 2:30 on CBS. A&M going to number 19 Tennessee. Tennessee kind of been laying low here lately. Hadn't heard a lot about them. They're 4-1. They know that Georgia game's looming. Georgia has to come to them. Texas A&M is in the same position they're in every week from this point on. Mm-hmm. You know, when they got off and they lost 2 games, it seems like every single week it's going to be like, are we going to continue to have the yarn unravel, or are we going to kind of sew this thing back up? And if they go on the road and beat Tennessee, that's a big step in the right direction. I don't think they can do it.
I know. I think Tennessee wins this one. I think they do.
Tennessee's only a 3-point favorite.
You know, I'm glad it's at 2:30 because I did yard work last week and I can't breathe this week. So
you'll actually be in there watching.
I'm going to watch TV, yeah.
Alabama, Arkansas get started here in a couple hours at 11 o'clock in Tuscaloosa. I don't think it's going to be close.
No, should not. It should not. It shouldn't be close, but, you know, you never know. But it may be close for a while, then they'll just blow them out the end.
Another one that's not going to be close, Georgia at Vanderbilt.
Why do you even play
I can't even believe they put a point spread on this game. 32.5. Are you taking that?
Yeah.
You taking 32.5?
They'll blow them out.
Okay.
Unless Kirby just says, hey.
That's the problem with those kind of games.
Yeah.
You think, oh, I got a sure bet here.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they get up 28 points and they take all the starters out, and then Vanderbilt scores a touchdown, cuts it to 21, and you had 32.5, and it's like, crap. You know, not that they can't win by that much, but I think that one's an easy. Vanderbilt's just bad. Yeah. They're just a bad team, man.
Yeah.
Florida and South Carolina at 2:30 on the SEC Network. South Carolina's a 2-point favorite. I mean, this is a battle of mediocre teams. It really is.
Wow. What's Florida come to? You know,
they're 4-2 right now, but it's not a.
They're not pretty though.
No, it's not what you expect out of a Florida team. And again, South Carolina's favored by 2 points, and they've got a losing record. This one's going to be interesting. When was the last time Missouri-Kentucky was must-watch TV at 6:30 on the SEC Network? I mean, Missouri, Eli Drinkwitz, you know, spent some time at Auburn under Gus Malzahn, took that job. Everybody felt like, man, you go where coaches go to die, and man, he's got them sitting there at 5-1.
Yeah, they're fun to watch.
And they should have. They really had LSU beat.
Yeah.
Up there. I mean, they'd be sitting there at 6-0. They'd still be the only team outside of Georgia undefeated in the SEC.
I know.
So
I kind of like them.
I like them going on the road and winning against Kentucky.
Yeah.
Kentucky a 2.5-point favorite.
No.
So I mean, I like the Fighting Tigers up there in Missouri.
Right.
I think Eli Drinkwitz has done a really good job. We're gonna take a break. We'll come back. Some big games around the country. We'll close it out here on the Saturday Sports Countdown.
76% of nurses say they went into the profession because they wanted to help patients. No matter the reason you decided to become a nurse, you have all the tools needed to advance your degree at Jacksonville State University. Our Master's in Nursing program is now offered fully online and can be completed in less than 2 years. You can customize a flexible course schedule so you can receive your advanced education degree all while working on the front line. JSU Nursing, your opportunity to advance your career and serve your community.
This fall, nobody beats Martin's Sports Pub for Lake Martin's best sports experience. Martin's all-star lineup of cold beverages and pub fare food can't be beat. With the region's best wings, burgers, and signature dishes. At Martin's, you always have the best seat in the house for all college and NFL on our multiple 360-view TV and huge projection screen with surround sound. See our pigskin scoreboard weekly to win big money and let our all-pro teams serve it all to you at the place we all win. Martin's, Highway 34, Dadeville. Satterfield Outdoor Living is Lake Martin's trusted friend for your outdoor land and leisure needs. We're the region's authorized Skag mower dealer for residential and commercial lawns and offer all the small engine accessories you need with top lines of Steel, Echo, Shindaiwa, Husqvarna, and Metabo products that can tame any landscape. Satterfield is also your grill headquarters with Big Green Egg Grill, and our pros service everything in-house and back up all sales. Get the Satterfield Outdoor difference on Highway 280 right across from Tallapoosa Ford.
At Russell Medical, we're proud of our exceptional nurses, like Nurse Brandy Worthy. Brandy represents the selfless, compassionate clinical leader patients expect and coworkers admire. Brandy was recently honored with the Nightingale Award for Nursing Excellence for her high standards, sound judgment, and caring manner. Her passion for her profession inspires us all.
Being a nurse is not just what you do, it's who you are. I'm proud to be a part of the nursing team at Russell Medical. We are the link between all hospital services, providing you with exceptional, personalized care.
Sometimes the word tradition is thrown out there too lightly. But when JR's Sports Bar and Grill is celebrating 25 years of Lake Martin's favorite place for wings, chicken fingers, good drinks, and good hometown folks, well, you know it's a true celebration. All of October, come celebrate with us for 25 awesome years. Chris and Audra are so thankful for each and every customer that's become part of JR's family. Come all month long, see our remodeling on the inside, and stay tuned for our October celebration event coming soon. JR's, a true 25-year tradition for the Lake Martin area.
Hey, it's Brett Pritchard, and I'm here to tell you all about Sims Foods, who you know better as Wickles Pickles. Wickles Pickles, that 90-year-old recipe, wickedly delicious. Relish, okra, and pickles. From Saturday sandwiches, tailgate snacks, to holiday dinners with your family and friends. From their family to yours, Wickles Pickles, those wickedly delicious pickles.
Wickles Pickles, wickedly delicious pickles.
Final segment here on the show. We're going to wrap it up here for games around the country. Ohio State will go to Purdue. I don't think that'll be a problem there for the Buckeyes. Michigan will host Indiana. Not much there either. I think that'll be a cruise game for them. The big one, Oregon and Washington. Oregon will travel to Washington. Both teams 5-0. Oregon ranked 8th. Washington ranked 7th. Michael Penix Jr. leading Washington. Bo Nix leading Oregon. This is the winner of this game will have the lead in the Heisman. Let's say both play like crap and the defense has to win. But I think somebody's going to step up and make plays to win this game.
Right. Hey, if Bo were to win the Heisman, do we get to claim part of that as an Auburn?
We'll put a statue up?
Yeah, might do it, yeah.
Don't think that'll happen. Unfortunately, it's where you finish. Again, here's a team that's surprising at 6-0. Louisville at Pitt. Louisville's a 7-point favorite, but Louisville took it to Notre Dame last week. They're undefeated. 6-0. No, I don't think anybody had them at 6-0. All of a sudden, when the Pac-12 announced they're not going to play football anymore or have a conference, everybody decided to get good. Washington State's number 19 in the country, 4-1. I just where did all these teams come from? The Pac-12 all of a sudden decide to get in the top 20.
I don't know. That's what I said yesterday. Is it the whether you can recruit now with NIL and what's going on? They got money out there that we didn't know they had? Or?
I just think they're saying, okay, we're just going to play football now.
Right.
USC at Notre Dame. You know, USC has lost 6 times in a row at Notre Dame. They'll go out there. Notre Dame's a 3-point favorite. Notre Dame's lost 2 games in a row. I think they're going to lose 7 in a row.
You think they're going to lose?
I think USC loses.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I think they go to Notre Dame and win.
I don't see Notre Dame getting beat three weeks in a row.
I think their backs. I think it's a must-win for them. More Pac-12. UCLA 18, Oregon State 15. When was the last time Oregon State was ranked 15th? They can't even find a conference right now that'll take them. 5-1, UCLA 4-1. UCLA goes to Oregon State. I've got UCLA going in and upsetting Oregon State.
Maybe these schools that don't have a conference anymore, maybe they're trying to. It's like when you break up with your girlfriend, you start looking, you're trying to look good again. You know, you trim up and you know.
Maybe the Pac-12 should have announced they weren't going to be at conference years ago. So
they're trying to look good again.
That's right. Miami at North Carolina. North Carolina's still undefeated. They're number 12. Miami comes off one of the biggest blunders in college football history last week with Georgia Tech winning that game when all they had to do is kneel on the ball.
Yeah, that's
run
crazy.
The clock out. You literally snatched victory from the jaws of defeat.
Gosh.
I mean, vice versa, right?
Right.
Snatched defeat from the jaws of victory. That's what they did.
You haven't won.
So, but North Carolina, can Miami rebound? I don't think so. I think North Carolina wins the game. So, anyway, some good football games on today here on this Saturday. Some national implications, some jockeying for who's going to make their move. You know, really, this time of year, a loss is magnified.
Right.
You know, as far as coming down the stretch, because we're still in this 14 playoff. Now, when they go to 12, it won't matter as much. So you have time to make it up. But that's going to wrap it up here on the Saturday Sports Countdown. Again, I had a double dose of Scott today. I had Scott Hardy in the first hour and had Scott Blake here in the second hour. So glad to have both of them here with me. Hope all of you have a good, fun rest of the weekend. Enjoy some college football, and we'll see you next week.
It's truck season at AHSAA Automotive. New Honda Ridgelines, $349 a month. Ford Rangers, $357 a month. Nissan Frontiers, $379 a month. And Chevrolet Silverados, $399 a month at AHSAA Automotive. Plus, you get a lifetime warranty, no charge, engine, powertrain, and more. It's truck season at AHSAA Honda, Tony Serra Ford, Serra Nissan, and Serra Chevrolet.
So you want to build a home? Build the home you want with America's Home Place. Choose from over 150 floor plans, then personalize. Tile backsplash for granite countertops? Done. A spacious bathroom you've always dreamed of? You got it. Choose every detail, floors, cabinets, even the paint color.
How about electric lime?
Can't decide? Relax. At America's Home Place, we take care of it all. It's your home. Own it. America's Home Place.
Lake Martin Tractor and Outdoor wants you to know we appreciate a great year from all of East Central Alabama, and now our inventory of superior zero-turn mowers from Spartan and Mahindra tractors is on the move. Shop Lake Martin Tractor for outstanding deals, finance rates as low as 0% and low payments. Spartan mowers as low as $84 per month. Mahindra four-wheel drive tractors and loader packages as low as $399 per month, including cutter, box blade, and 20-foot trailers. Spring into 22 at Lake Martin Tractor and Outdoor, Highway 280 in Alexander City, or online lakemartintractor.com.
If you're seeing the American cockroach, throw up the red flag. Ladybugs, throw up the red flag. Ants and swarming termites, throw up the red flag. And kudzu bugs, throw up the red flag. That's Red Flag Pest Control. So the caution is on. Call Red Flag Pest Control today.
I'm Scott Davis with Red Flag Pest Control. Call me today, 256-825-0430.
Have you met your local farmer's insurance agent, Patrick Holina? He proudly serves Tallapoosa County and Alexander City families and businesses and is ready to review your existing policies or provide a no-obligation quote today. Call the Holina Agency at 256-234-0037 or stop in today at 704 Commerce Drive to get smarter about your insurance. Again, that's the Holina Agency, 256-234-0037.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
Farmers and Merchants Bank of Dadeville is building a foundation of strength and trust in the entire Lake Martin community. With our modern branch in Dadeville and caring, attentive staff, we've established Farmers and Merchants Bank as a reliable friend to your banking needs. Whether it's just a savings or checking account or any commercial, auto, or real estate loan, Farmers has local decision-making to build a relationship with you and your needs. Farmers and Merchants Community Bank. Strength, service, community.
So you want to build a home? Build the home you want with America's Home Place. Choose from over 150 floor plans, then personalize. Tile backsplash for granite countertops? Done. A spacious bathroom you've always dreamed of? You got it. Choose every detail, floors, cabinets, even the paint color.
How about electric lime?
Can't decide? Relax. At America's Home Place, we take care of it all. It's your home. Own it. America's Home Place.
Lake Martin Tractor and Outdoor wants you to know we appreciate a great year from all of East Central Alabama, and now our inventory of superior zero-turn mowers from Spartan and Mahindra tractors is on the move. Shop Lake Martin Tractor for outstanding deals, finance rates as low as 0% and low payments. Spartan mowers as low as $84 per month. Mahindra four-wheel drive tractors and loader packages as low as $399 per month, including cutter, box blade, and 20-foot trailers. Spring into 22 at Lake Martin Tractor and Outdoor, Highway 280 in Alexander City, or online lakemartintractor.com.
If you're seeing the American cockroach, throw up the red flag. Ladybugs, throw up the red flag. Ants and swarming termites, throw up the red flag. And kudzu bugs, throw up the red flag. That's Red Flag Pest Control. So the caution is on. Call Red Flag Pest Control today.
I'm Scott Davis with Red Flag Pest Control. Call me today, 256-825-0430.
Have you met your local farmer's insurance agent, Patrick Holina? He proudly serves Tallapoosa County and Alexander City families and businesses and is ready to review your existing policies or provide a no-obligation quote today. Call the Holina Agency at 256-234-0037 or stop in today at 704 Commerce Drive to get smarter about your insurance. Again, that's the Holina Agency, 256-234-0037.
We are farmers. Bum, ba, bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
Farmers and Merchants Bank of Dadeville is building a foundation of strength and trust in the entire Lake Martin community. With our modern branch in Dadeville and caring, attentive staff, we've established Farmers and Merchants Bank as a reliable friend to your banking needs. Whether it's just a savings or checking account or any commercial, auto, or real estate loan, Farmers has local decision-making to build a relationship with you and your needs. Farmers and Merchants Community Bank. Strength, service, community.